Hello, hello. I am so excited to get started on today's live. We are going to be talking about the biggest mistake that coaches make when running online challenges. Challenges are all over the internet right now. And if you are inspired to run a challenge, whether it's for like a free lead gen opportunity or for your clients, this video, you've got to set up the systems in this video. They're truly so simple, and so many challenges, people that run challenges do not do these systems. And truly, the difference between running a fine challenge or a challenge that gets some results, between a challenge that has better results, testimonials, people ready to work with you, people ready to renew in your offer, people shouting you out from the rooftops, people sharing you on social media. The difference between a mid challenge and a great challenge in terms of results is this results tracking system that I'm going to show you. So it's really so simple, and I'm excited to dive in. If we have not met yet before, my name is Ashley Rose, and I help coaches and service providers build Airtable client management systems that help them support more clients without dropping the ball. So if you are a coach or a service provider, you absolutely, the hill that I die on is you have to use Airtable for your CRM. No Notion, no ClickUp, no Google Sheets, no Google Forms. Airtable is the source of truth for all things client management, because when you have a really strong foundation, you can then add on things like challenge tracking and all of those things. So not only would your client hub house all your client details, it would also house your challenges that you add on, any support ticketing, any fun features that you want to add to your offers. Your client hub will be able to do it and customize it. So that is what I do. If you do not know me yet, please follow along. Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me. You can truly, if you're watching this, go ahead and DM me on Instagram. I'm at Systems Over Strats, and say, hey, I'm watching your YouTube video. I'm excited about results tracking, anything that you're working on. So today, let's dive in. We're going to be talking about challenges because they are everywhere. I'm sure you have seen Jesse Jean's Yap Challenge, $6.7 million launch, 4,000 people inside of that challenge. Amazing, amazing. So whether you have just a couple people in a challenge or thousands of people, the system would work for you. I love challenges. I love participating as a user, and I also love participating them and hosting them as a coach. I am participating in 2 challenges right now. So I am in Jesse Jean's Yap Challenge. That's a 40-day Instagram posting challenge. And then I'm in another 30-day challenge. It's like identity manifestation kind of wooey stuff. So I'm currently in 2 of them. I have ADHD, and I really love the momentum and the accountability that a challenge gives. So if you have neurodivergent people in your audience, then challenges are a great way to incentivize them to take action, and also just get a buzz about you and your offer. So I really believe people are wondering what's a trend, what's not a trend. Challenges have been around forever, and I think that they're just going to continue to exist because they're great and they create momentum and they create buzz. So, but the thing that people are losing out on, the huge missed opportunity, is that people host a challenge and then maybe they say every day hey, drop a message in our circle or drop a message in Mighty Networks if you got it done. But that's it. That's the only accountability. That's the only results tracking that they're doing. And you're just leaving so many results on the table when you don't have a results tracking system. And I am going to show you today how to build one from scratch. So literally, I have nothing built yet. I'm going to show you how I would build it using Airtable and ChatGPT to help me build out some form questions. So stick around because we're about to build this whole thing from scratch. So before we get into that, I kind of shared why challenges are cool, why I like them, why I don't think they're a trend. When should you run a challenge? So I think there's 2 great reasons to run a challenge. One is do it for lead generation. So this is a super classic move. I would not do a 30-day free challenge. I would do that more on a paid end for clients. But for lead gen, do a free 3 to 5 day challenge before you open the doors to your offer. The goal isn't the challenge itself. It's the excitement, the momentum, the community, the trust, the buzz before people buy. So if you do a challenge, it really helps people see your coaching style and who you are, and if they like the type of work that they would be doing inside of your paid offer. So if you want to do lead generation, highly recommend challenges. It's a great way to do it. And then the second time to run a challenge is for your clients and for client experience. So let's say you have a longer group program. It's 6 months, it's a year, Or you're doing a launch and it's an evergreen launch and you want to create momentum for that launch and say, hey, we're about to run a challenge inside of my program. So like join now so you can participate in the challenge. That's a great way to do it too. So a challenge really re-energizes everybody inside of your offer. People start to take action again. They're going to sign into your course portal again. New wins start to happen. And so if they're engaging with your program again, we're talking better retention, better testimonials, more re-signs, more referrals, all of that. So challenges are great. So whether you're doing a client backend one or a lead generation one, the system will work for you. We call them system sprints inside of my group program, Systems Over Stress. They're 4-week accountability challenges. So we're like, all right, what's the one system you're committing to? Let's work on that. And so we have weekly check-ins, all of those things. So it's a really great thing to add to your offers. So that's like why you should run the challenge, when you should run them. Let's talk about what we're missing, which is the client results tracking. So everybody, when they're running a challenge, they get excited. They're like gonna, they start really strong and you start to see people fall off. They get quiet. You're like, is this even working? You don't know if people are getting results because all you're relying on is people that are like the over enthusiastic people who are like engaging in the circle or they are tagging you on Instagram. Those are not the majority of your clients. So if you set up a results tracking system that people like to fill out, then it will give you way more results. It'll keep them way more involved as well. So we're going to talk about building that client results tracker form. So truly, it is such a simple form. It is just a form that people fill out throughout your challenge. It helps your participants create accountability. So instead of thinking like, oh, like I'll probably remember what I did, or like, oh, I need to create my own habit tracker, or I need to keep track on my own, your results tracker would keep track for them, their results in the challenge. It can automatically remind them if they stop submitting. I'll walk you through how to do that. You can celebrate streaks with them. You can congratulate people who finish. You can nudge people who fall behind. So it's easier for them to complete. But it also helps you with having all of that data on the back end. So if you are just asking people to comment in a Slack channel or comment in your circle group that they completed stuff, your brain is not keeping track of all of the people. Like you're like, oh, well, like Ashley said she was doing the challenge, but I haven't heard from her in a few days. Like if you have thousands of people in your challenge, you can't keep track of everybody's progress in your head. This tracking system will do it for you. And so it's tracking for you. And you can also see like, man, people really fall off at day 4. So do I need to change the topic? Do I need to add in some like more nuanced training? Like what do I need to do to increase retention? Especially if you're going to do challenges, like you're going to do repeat challenges, then having all of that data is really, really helpful. So instead of just guessing or wondering what people are doing, now you know. So how I would build this. So if you are already using my Airtable Client Hub, great, you would add on to that. If you don't have that yet, the link is in the chat, or the link will be in the description below for it. But what it is I would highly, highly recommend not starting Airtable from scratch. Don't start from scratch. Let me show you just a little bit of so I have this little sales page. I'm not going to get into this, but it's under $500, the Client Hub. You need it. It has all of the things that you could do to get started. Airtable can manage everything for you. The Client Hub is a great resource. Thank you, Lizzie, for being here. So you add on to your Client Hub. So the Client Hub is great. You would add this onto it. So what you would do is who should we use an example? Let's do a financial coach because Lucy's in the chat. So Lucy, let's say you wanted to have a challenge. This is a very simple challenge, but let's say you wanted a 5-day challenge that was look at your bank account and look at your like numbers and just like tell us the feelings that are coming up. It's like a like transparency challenge, like a financial get over your financial scarcity challenge. It's like all you want to do is like look into your bank account for 5 days. That's it. And a journaling prompt for each of those days. So let's say that's what you wanted to do. So, and this is for active people currently in your offer. You're just going to be like, hey guys, I've been hearing a lot of people that have been struggling with like this. So like, let's do this. This may not be the best idea, but you can see like, this is kind of the direction that we're going. I always recommend with your challenges. I'm going to come back to this all the time. If you know me, if you worked with me, we talk client results first always in whatever we do and whatever features we create. So you want to be really clear on what the result that your offer is supposed to get. So if your offer is as if you're a financial coach who helps people feel confident with their bank account and know their numbers and feel like calm about what's going on and increase their revenue, then having a heal your nervous system by looking at your bank account challenge makes a lot of sense. But if that's not your result, sometimes you can get really like shiny challenge ideas, but you want to make sure it directly ties to the result that you want to get your clients. If anybody in the chat has like an actual challenge that they want to run, I can use that as an example, but for now we'll go with that one. So the first thing you're going to want to do is I'm going to share my screen and we are going to build this from scratch. So I'm here. So your client hub would have so many other tables, but the biggest thing we care about right now, it's called a primary client record. So every client that works with you, as soon as they buy, they get a zap, like a quick automation in here that has like their first name, their last name, their status, that they're active, their email, their start date in the program, all of that. So then everything that they ever do with you is tied to their primary client record. So you can open up their account and see their onboarding form and when they last submitted, all of those things. So you can see those. And so you can kind of see where we're going with this. So their onboarding form is attached. So therefore their results tracker would be attached as well. So especially for a client, a challenge for a existing coaching program, you would want to have like an opt-in form because you're not going to assume that everybody's going to do the challenge. So I am going to create a table and I'm going to call it challenge opt-in. Okay. And I'm going to create a linked record field to link it to the client record. And then do this. Okay, I'm going to say opt-in status. I like to do like, yes, I'm in, or I'm going to sit this one out. And let's do this. So we're going to say challenge date. This is our July 2026 challenge. And let's say we're also going to do one in August. We are also going to do an August 2026 challenge. Okay. So I've got this set up for me. And I'm going to go into forms. I'm going to click new form. And I'm going to go to challenge opt-in. Say create form. And this is where if you don't want to use AI and you want to use your brain, absolutely go for it. Because of the purpose of the time of this, I am just going to show you, I have a results tracker form bot that I like to use to help create my results tracker. And so I'm just going to yap into it just live. So I'm going to say, I am a financial coach and I teach people how to have like a neutral to positive relationship with their money. I help them like double their income in like a year time. I want to do a challenge based on them just like looking at their numbers and like seeing what feelings come up when they look at their bank account. So I want to create a form that like people can opt in to participating in this challenge. And how the challenge works is every day they're going to get a prompt from me that says like, look at their bank account and a specific journal prompt that comes with their feelings. So they're going to do that challenge. And then they will submit a form to me if they'd like to tell us that they completed the daily challenge and then give any insights that they'd like. If they make it through the 5 days, they have the opportunity to get a one-on-one coaching session with me, 30-minute one-on-one coaching session. It'll be like a raffle at the end for everybody who participated. And then I'm going to add, please make the opt-in form that just says, hey, like, here's the form, or here's the details, here's the challenge dates. And the challenge dates are going to be July 6th to July 10th or July 11th. And what else? What else do I want to say? Yeah, so I just need the form title, the form descriptions, and some of the form fields. I'm just showing y'all, this is how I use AI. I'm not a master prompt person, as you can see. I just yap into it and it will tell me what I need. And so this is what I do. So I'm going to do that. 5-day money check-in challenge. Great. Let's see. From July 6th to the 10th, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. You receive one short daily money prompt. Each day you'll check your bank account, reflect on a guided journal prompt, notice your thoughts at the end of each day. Yep. That looks good. See, like the idea came from me and it's just cleaning it up. So this is how I use AI. If you don't want to use AI, you don't have to. Cool. Great. Okay. Yeah, I don't care about this stuff. Let's see. So I'm going to say, select your name from the dropdown. So what you can do is select your name from the dropdown. This is going to automatically link the client to their client profile. So that's really nice. They can select their name and then their opt-in status. Obviously, let's say, are you participating? And then here's a pro tip. I'm doing this. So I'm going to say July 6th through 10th, 2026. And I am only going to show that one option. And I am going to have a default value of July 10th. And I'm not going to allow users to edit that field. So that way on the back end, it's super organized, but they don't have to do anything. So select your name, challenge, and are you participating? So I'm going to hit publish. So that is the first thing that we want. So if we get that form created, that took me a couple minutes to make. It took me a couple minutes and I even figured out the idea. Like I figured that out in real time. So if we're saying, okay, client 2 is participating. Client 3 is participating. And client 4 just loves to update us anyways. They're going to set this one out. Cool. So I'm going to go back. And I noticed that people could select more than one. I want to limit the selection to a max of one person. So just small little tweaks to make there. So already we have an opt-in form that people can check in with us. So what I want to do on the back end is I'm actually going to create an interface. Challenge. This is the stuff that you can't really do if you did that in a Google form, if you did anything like that. So I'm going to say, here we go. Challenge opt-ins. All right. And then let's make it a pie. And let's say record count, show percentage. Cool. So we've got two are in, one's going to sit it out. And then if I wanted to, I can have a list of who those people are. Let me delete the 3 test ones. Cool. All right. So that's the first thing. So already you could start to see, okay, how many people are planning on participating in the challenge? What's going on? So that's the first thing. So the next part of this is I would create every challenge post. Make this form next. So the next one is, let's say challenge check-ins. Okay. And I'm going to do it this way. We're going to say link to another record, the primary client record. Every form that you make needs to link back to the primary client record. So it links back there. So we've got that. And then I want a single select, which is challenge day. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And then let's say, did you complete it? Yes. No, I skipped today. I'm just gonna make this really like anything you want to share. Ahas, questions. Cool. So that looks good to me. So I built out the form details. I'm gonna just pop back over to my GPT. Okay, so I've created the client opt-in, the challenge opt-in form. Now I want to create the actual daily form, and it'll be a form where they can select. I showed you some of the fields. So I want them to be able to select the day that they're accounting for. I want them to say, yes, I did it, or no, I skipped, and then have any like aha moments. So if you could just make the title and the description so people know what happens in this form. Cool. Daily challenge check-in. So of course, if I wasn't doing this on speed mode, I would probably like think about this more. But let's make a new form, and I'm gonna update this one. So this is the challenge opt-in form, challenge check-ins. Great. Cool. Welcome to your daily check-in. And I have another video all about how to kind of finesse your forms with like logos and some of the details there and all of that stuff. But for this, we won't worry about that. So now we have the form. So they can say, okay, I'm client 1. It's day 1. Yes, I completed it. Ahas here, right? So this is the form. This is all you have to do. Like I like the challenges that I'm in, and they do not have trackers like this. And so like I just imagine if Jessie Jean had 4,000 people, if she had something like this, she would have thousands of like true like testimonials. Like there would be so much data inside of this form. Of course, this is just a tinier form, but you could, if you like, depending on what you're teaching and what the challenge is about, you could of course customize this to what makes sense. You could even do conditional things. So you can say, if it's day 3, I want to ask them specific questions because day 3 has specific questions. Yes, Alora, please build this for your next challenge. Absolutely. So you can do that. All right. Those are the 2 forms you have to build. You would put this daily check-in challenge check-in everywhere. So every day when you're promoting it in your Facebook group or when you're promoting it in your circle community, say like, hey, fill out this form, fill out this form, fill out this form. Jessie Jean actually makes sense. Good for her. She does not have an ability to, in the circle, she doesn't have the ability for people to put comments because it would probably be a disaster. But she could link something like this. So sometimes we intentionally hide our comments because we don't want to manage the comment process. I've also been in place in challenges where they don't, and there's hundreds of people in the circle being like, I did it, I did it, I did it. It's like, what are you guys going to do with that? Like if you had something like this instead, it would be so much more powerful. So there's that. So those are the 2 forms that you're going to make. But now I'm going to show you some very fun things you can do on the back end. So what's cool about this? I'm going to go back to edit. I'm going to go to data. I'm going to go to the primary client records. I'm going to hide this. And I'm going to say check-ins, challenge check-ins. And what I'm going to do is called a lookup field. And what I can do is first I have to do a submitted date. It's called created time. So lookup field created. All right. So client 1, the last time that they submitted a form was 7/6/12/22. Now, let's say I want to follow up with people if they haven't submitted in 2 days because it's a tight challenge. You can do that very easily in Airtable. So what you're going to do is select an automation. It's so easy. It's so easy. You're going to go to primary client record. When the last check-in challenge, like with the last check-in, let me actually rename that because it's gonna be easier for you. So we're gonna say last challenge check-in submitted. Let me go back. Last challenge check-in submitted is number of days ago, 2 days ago. Send them an email. That's it. Pick your account. The 2 would be to their email, the subject. Use ChatGPT. I'm not going to do it, but like, we miss you. Where's your, like, let's say, are you still doing the challenge? Hey, first name. It's been a couple days since we've seen you submit something for the challenge. It's not too late to catch up. Submit here. Of course, finesse that, but literally automatically, without you having to remember or keep track of anybody, it's going to re-engage them and they will come back to the challenge. So that's all it is. It's so easy. So we'll say remind someone, let's say re-engagement, reminder, 2 days and no check-ins. Cool. Great. Then we can also say, if they complete the challenge, if you say, hey, I want you to, what's the word? If like you get, like the goal is five check-ins, we can add another one. We can do a count field. Number of check-ins, challenge check-ins. Cool. So then we can have another one. Let's say what's cool about Airtable is like anything you want to trigger an automation for, it can do, like, because all of the data is in one spot. So we're going to say if the challenge check-ins, number of check-ins equals 5, to the email, you completed the challenge, right? So it's just being like, once you understand how you can use Airtable automations to trigger certain like engagement reminders or celebrations, things can get really cool. So you can see number of if they've submitted 5 check-ins, it's been a couple days since they've responded, or if you have a numerical based challenge. Let me do one as an example. So I'm going to say, let's say it's a look at your numbers, but then also we want their like bank account to be over $1,000 or something like that. Currency. Let's say, okay, let's say we want them to move $100 to savings. Cool. So we're going to say day 1 and day 2 for this client. They did both. The first day they moved $56. The next day they moved $75. What you can also do, because Airtable is cool and because your Google Sheets and your ClickUp could never get away, like, no, Airtable is the only option. We're going to do, it's called a roll up. So you're like a lookup, a count, and a roll up are 3 really cool things that Airtable can do. So we're going to say total savings submitted in challenge. Challenge, check-ins, savings moved, and we're going to sum it. 131. Yay. And then we're going to say challenge, hit challenge goal. This is a pro tip, y'all, because you'll see what this looks like in a second. Because let's say our goal is for them to move $100 to savings. When a record matches a condition in their client record, when the total savings submitted in the challenge is greater than or equal to 100, and hit challenge goal is none of hit goal, because we don't want this to send them every time if they already hit the goal. We're going to send them an email that says, yay, you did it. But here's the cool thing that Airtable can do. Hey, first name, you submitted. It can roll up the number, total savings. You did it. So it can automatically start to sum up everything that they've submitted in the challenge and then put it in the email. So if you say, hey, you've submitted $56 day one. Hey, you've submitted $66 if they submitted 56 on one day and then 10 the next. It's going to automatically roll it up. That momentum, it shows that you're tracking for them, which means they're going to want to keep submitting because they're like, Ashley's tracking for me. Like, this is not just like, yeah, you did it, keep going email. It's like, oh, she's tracking for me. So you can do that as well. But then if it exceeds the $100, which is like the challenge promise, you can submit a special email. So you can send that email. And then you can say, we just want to update that record real quick and say that they hit the challenge goal. So that way, this just sends one time in the challenge. So they would send that out. Like, it would say like, yep, you hit the challenge goal. And then if they keep submitting, they're not going to get this like congratulations email every time. So those are 3 automated ways that you can improve your challenge, like completion rates and check-ins. So we're talking engagement check-ins, confirmations, or total check-ins, number of like the count that they did, and then the savings. So depending on if you do a number of completions or if there's an actual number that you have like them working towards, you can do automations there. So that's really cool. Other things you can do as well. This is the last I'll do. If you have any questions in the chat, let me know, or any in the comments, so we can get to them after the live. But you can also see other data here too. So this is just the opt-ins, but Airtable, you can just have so much robust data here. So we're going to have number of check-ins. Let's add a list here. Cool. And you just want to have this like nice little list. So what I like to do is I like to personally have a bar chart of the days. So we'll do X is day, challenge day. So then you can start to see like how people are how the challenge is going, how the challenge consistency is going. Because let me go back to my check-ins. Let's say I had client 2. Client 2 did day 1, 2, 3. Then if I go back to my interface, you can see like, how's the challenge going? Okay, cool. I'm seeing some people drop off. What's going on? And so you can play around with that. Something else that I like to do as well is you can add, let's see, I like to do numbers too. Charts and numbers are my favorite things in the interface. So we can say, and filters. Let's do this one. If you just wanted to see day 1, for example, you can filter this to say filter where challenge day is day 1. You could see that. I would maybe do this one. That one might be better, where we say where challenge day is day 1. So you can see how many people submitted. You can see more details, or day 2 or 3. So you could see all of them. So you can really play around with that. So you can have so much rich data by just putting these 2 forms. Technically, you don't even need the first form. If you just have, you don't need the opt-in, you could just have people submit their forms. But you can do so much with this. So you can see all of the data on the back end. You can send those engagement emails. You can send celebration emails. There's so much you can do with just this very simple system. Airtable systems are absolutely a requirement for running your group coaching or your service provider business. If you do one-on-one coaching, group coaching, if you're a service provider, Airtable is that girl. And specifically my client hub. All of this is the baseline is our client hub template. So if you don't have that, definitely check it out in the description below. And if you run a challenge, let me know if you set this up. I would love to hear in the comments what challenge you're thinking about running, what challenge that you're participating in, and if this was helpful. So can't wait for you to set up your challenge systems, and we'll see you in the next video.